This broadcast is sponsored by Subaru South Boulevard and Subaru Concord. WBTV, on your side. WBTV News starts right now.
New at 5 o'clock, this system will bring major changes to our weather. We're tracking the chances of flooding and high winds.
Also coming up, we are there when a former teacher leaves court accused of having sex with a student.
And a mom talks about losing her son too early and how he saved another life.
He's a hero, and I think he deserves it.
Welcome to WBTV News. I'm Jamie Bowl.
And I'm Molly Grantham. Thanks for being here. Let's get straight to some breaking news right now in Gaston County. We know that one person has been shot and killed. Sky 3 is live over the scene on North York Street in Gastonia. We know that police are there on the scene, and again, one person has been killed, but other details surrounding how this shooting happened and what motivated it are still not confirmed. We'll pass that information on to you as soon as we get it, but at least 12 patrol cars there on North York Street right now in Gaston County with one person shot and killed. Jamie.
New at 5 o'clock, we are hearing from the mom of a young child many believe died a hero. Family members say Ladarius Wiley was hit and killed at a bus stop when he pushed his younger sister out of the way of an oncoming car. The day after a local park is named after Ladarius, his mom is talking to WBTV's Michael Clark about what's next for a family that's been through so much.
A park in need of a little life in Chester will soon be named for an 11-year-old who sacrificed his to save his 7-year-old sister.
I just want to hold him and hug him, you know.
This is Ladarius Wiley, killed just a few weeks ago after he was hit by a car at the bus stop. A car his mother, Liz McCrory, says almost hit her daughter first.
He had his back turned. She was facing the car where they was coming. And she said he turned around and pushed her, and the car swerved.
This mother wrestles with emotions daily, grieving that she no longer has her son by her side and proud that because of his actions, her daughter still is.
I'm proud of that he saved her. I guess that's a good thing that came out of it.
Hailed a hero across the country, people are taking notice. Donations are expected to help clean up what will soon be known as Ladarius Wiley Park of Brooklyn, a place McCrory hopes will be a safe haven for other kids in the neighborhood.
His name gonna be on for the park. I know he's flipping up there in heaven. That's what he'd love to do.
Chester City Council members voted to make the name change Monday night. Wiley's mother knows nothing will bring him back.
I miss him so much.
Police say Michelle Johnson was driving the car that hit and killed Ladarius Wiley. The scene is just to the south of the family's house. McCrory looks forward to one day driving in the opposite direction, towards the park named in honor of her son.
He's a hero, and I think he deserves it.
In Chester, Michael Clark, WBTV, on your side.
A hero indeed. We should know next week when the renovations to the playground will be finished.
Well, take a look at this. Big changes coming our way that we want to alert you to. A few counties are under flood watches. You can see them here. Let's go ahead and get straight over to meteorologist Lee Brock. She's in the First Alert Weather Center. Lee.
Yeah, we do have that system coming our way. It is heading straight for us. You can see what it's already doing right now. Rain, very heavy at times. Even thunderstorms are possible. You see the red right there? That's a tornado watch, and there's a flood watch out ahead of that. That whole system has got to move through here before we can finally clear things out, dry things out. Here's what it looks like for us around here. Right now, just cloudy skies. That's not so bad, all things considered. There's a flash flood watch in effect until Thursday at 10 a.m. So let's take a look at a little bit of that. Here's where we have that watch. It's not for everyone, just the counties you see in green. It doesn't even start right now. We don't have rain in the picture right now in our area, but starting tomorrow afternoon, lasting into Thursday morning at 10, that's when this is going to be in effect. We could see 1-2 inches, even locally higher totals as we head into the second part of your week. Wind advisory also in effect. This starts at 6 o'clock and that lasts until Wednesday at 9 o'clock. Some pretty gusty winds, maybe up to 60 miles per hour. We'll talk about who's going to get the rain and just how much in just a little bit.
Lee, thank you. Just into our newsroom, new information on possibly new evidence in the investigation of the Paris attacks. WBTV anchor Brigida Mack is live in the studios with us right now. Brigida, what do you have?
Molly, several developments in the past few hours. Here's the latest information just into our newsroom. CNN is reporting investigators in Paris have found a cell phone they believe belongs to one of the attackers. They're hoping it can provide more information about the plot and the terrorist network behind it. They found it in a hotel room rented by one of the suspects suspected attackers. A total of 7 alleged terrorists died in the attack. Only 5 have been publicly identified. Investigators released one of their pictures earlier. You see it there. Meanwhile, the U.S. House of Representatives just passed a resolution condemning the horrific attacks in Paris. The measure condemns last Friday's assault in the strongest terms possible. Of course, we know 129 people died, more than 350 others injured. This, of course, is a very fluid situation. We're getting new details and updates seemingly every few minutes. If we learn of any more, we'll be the first to send it your way. Jamie.
Brigida, thank you. Breaking news we're following right now out of the Piper Glen community in South Charlotte. The accused squatter we told you about last week has been arrested. Sky 3 over the scene showed a woman being put in a police cruiser at Kelly Woods Lane. We learned just before the newscast that the woman is Elbe Ninti. Neighbors have been worried about the woman who has been living in an $800,000 home in the upscale community. The home is bank owned. Officers served an arrest warrant claiming trespassing as well as breaking and entering.
Lots going on today. Also a lot going on your commute. Tanya Rivens is live in the First Alert Traffic Center. Hey, Tanya.
Hey, Molly. Your First Alert Traffic is sponsored by People's Bank. Take a look at this I-277 right around John Belk approaching Independence Boulevard, and it's really slow-moving traffic. The same is the story right in the heart of Center City. Although our mapping system not showing an accident, we have one here at College Street and Stonewall, another accident. And this one is actually at McDowell and 3rd Street right in this area. And quite a bit of congestion on Providence Road as well as we look on our mapping system. The current drive time right now, Providence Road from I-277 to I-45, about 43 minutes. Back to you.
Tanya, thank you. New at 5 o'clock, we're learning more about the former high school teacher accused of sex acts with a student. We were there when Taka Helton walked out of a Gaston County courtroom. She resigned her job at South Point High School back in October. WBTV's Alex Giles has more on the story.
Taka Helton flanked by an attorney and one other guest, dodging the questions thrown her way.
Did you do what they say you did?
Our mics deflected away, Helton keeping her head down, refusing to speak. Her lawyer claiming she had nothing to say.
Do you mind saying that for yourself, ma'am?
She does. I'm saying it.
No comments from the accused, the exact opposite outside of South Point High School today.
Heard about the situation people are talking about?
Of course I've heard about the situation. It's crazy.
And it marks the end of Helton's career at South Point.
It's insane. She was a good teacher.
Accused of doing some bad things, facing a charge of sexual activity with a student.
It's an unfortunate situation, but I really feel for her family.
Her home in Gaston County marked with no trespassing signs, chain link blocking the driveway. Parents at South Point with stern words.
Conduct yourself like a grown-up. Carry yourself like a grown-up.
Of course, situations like that always make you a little bit uneasy, but seems to be the world we live in today.
It's our Alex Giles reporting. No word on when Helton will appear in court again. She is currently out of jail on bond.
Next here in this 5 o'clock hour, a wild chase after an attempted robbery. Coming up where police say a man took a couple that was just trying to get gas.
Plus a serious question you may need to think about. Is social media affecting you mentally? We look at signs of digital depression just ahead.
Also coming up, we are on your side with important information. This is a live picture if you are facing the threat of foreclosure. What you need to know, we've got a phone bank for you. That's coming up next here in the 5 o'clock hour. New now at 5 o'clock. A South Carolina officer is recovering after a deadly officer-involved shooting. Police in Casey say the officer tried to arrest a man on drug charges, but he started shooting. This is near Columbia. The man shot one of the officers. Police shot back, hitting and killing him. The officer who was hit is expected to be okay. We looked. This is the 45th time officers have fired their weapons at a suspect in South Carolina. Last year, there were 42 shootings involving police in the state.
New at 5 o'clock, what seemed like a scene from a movie played out on the streets of a downtown Virginia city. Now, 2 people are recovering. Richmond police say a man tried to rob a couple at gunpoint yesterday. They didn't have money, so he ordered them to drive him to a bank and withdraw money. When the man got out at the bank, he told the workers to call police. He was being robbed. The suspect then forced the other person who was still in the car to run from police. The slow speed pursuit played out for about 30 minutes. At the end of it, the suspect shot the driver in the head, then police shot him. Officers haven't released the names of anyone involved.
Just ahead, if you use social media regularly, and lots of us do because it's right on our phones, you may be doing something that's leading to what doctors call digital depression.
Yeah, what you need to look for and what you can do to beat it, coming up next. First, here's Lee.
Things are okay right now, but we have rain coming this way and possibly a whole lot of it. We'll talk about when to expect it, when the heaviest rain comes through, and when it moves out. I've got that forecast after the break.
Check it out here. A chemical fire at a warehouse here today. It forced dozens of people from their Pennsylvania homes. This is happening around Pittsburgh. The smoke and flames could be seen for miles. Nobody will say what chemicals were in the warehouse, but did say nobody was hurt.
Social networking is so popular, most of us cannot go a day without posting something online, but it turns out some social media habits could leave us down in the dumps. WBTV anchor Maureen O'Boyle explores digital depression, all new now at 5.
With a tap on our phone, we can share moments of our lives with the world. But hot on the trail of our digital expression is a lot of expectation.
When I post, I'm sort of embarrassed to admit, but I do kind of keep looking, like, did people provide positive feedback or interact with it?
Amy's not alone. You've got to admit positive Facebook feedback feels good.
Yeah, it's just an ego boost. It's a momentary ego boost, you know. So you go, you know, and you kind of like see if 5 or 6 more people have liked it since the last time you looked.
The Pew Research Center says 76% of adults who go online use social media sites, Facebook the clear favorite. It's fun, but new headlines scream of recent studies on how social media may affect us mentally, essentially putting social comparisons on steroids.
And if you're interpreting it in a way of, well, maybe 50 people liked it, but what about all the other friends that didn't like it? Right, that might end up making you feel bad about yourself and making the self-esteem problems worse.
Remember, the digital universe is somewhat distorted.
Because people are putting out their best self, then you feel like, oh, you know, maybe don't look as good, maybe people don't like me as much.
There is that social comparison again. Dr. Weiland says among her students, she's heard it leads to anxiety, even digital depression. Jeannie Watts is a parent educator. She says females, especially teens, tend to compare their social media lives to others more than males. She says there are warning signs when it's gone too far.
As parents, we do need to watch for sudden changes in eating habits, in dressing habits and friendships, sleep habits, moodiness, grades at school. And when things start to go wrong, instead of being critical, ask some pointed questions about how they're feeling.
So press delete on social comparisons that can lead you straight into digital depression. Keep in mind, people rarely post the worst of their lives, only the very best.
And have you heard of FOMO? It's basically the side effect of digital depression. It's the fear of missing out. FOMO isn't pretty if you stare at friends' Facebook feeds and they look like they had the most amazing weekend picking apples with the kids. Therapist Dr. Ben Michaelis has probably one of the best pieces of advice we could find. He said the cure for that starts with a G, gratitude. Let's go ahead now and check traffic again. Tanya Rivers is live in the First Alert Traffic Center.
Hey, Molly, your First Alert Traffic is sponsored by People's Bank. This is a great indication at I-277 around the center city of what traffic is like around the area at the moment. Quite a few incidents. Let's head to Fairview Road and Sardis Road, as well as Fairview and Carmel Park Drive. 2 accidents right close to one another, and Sharon Lane is a great alternate route. We've got another problem over at Sardis Road and Crown Center Drive. Sardis Road North, rather. Monroe Road is a great alternate route to get around that. And quite a bit of congestion also building on Independence Boulevard once you get around that area, and I-77 southbound quite congested as well. Back to you.
Tanya, thank you. Take a look at some of this wind damage. Straight line winds from a system heading our way knocked this tree over in Memphis. According to our sister station, that same area is under a tornado watch, and this is why. You can see this huge storm system stretching from Chicago all the way down to Houston, and it is bringing some changes. It's going to mean those for us as well. Let's get you over to meteorologist Lee Brock. She is keeping an eye on it in the First Alert Weather Center. Lee?
Yes, we are. We have plenty of rain coming this way. Here's where it's falling right now. Arkansas down into Louisiana, Missouri. This is pushing our way. There's a whole frontal boundary coming this way. And even though hopefully we're not going to have to deal with the tornado watches, the flood potential is here as it does get a little bit closer to us. So let's see what's going on right now. Not a whole lot rain-wise right now. So we're seeing the calm before the storm for the time being. But still, we already have a flash flood watch. In fact, for all of the counties you see in dark green, that's going to be from Wednesday afternoon into Thursday morning. That's going to be our time frame from the heaviest rain for everyone, but it looks like you're going to see the heaviest rain, and you could even see a couple of showers out ahead of that system during the day tomorrow. We'll talk about that in a second. First of all, here's our front back to the west of us heading into your morning hours tomorrow. Put this into motion, and notice many of us, even though the system makes progress, many of us may stay dry the entire day tomorrow. Can't rule out a shower, but the heavy rain, that's going to hold off a while longer. Continue to put this into motion. This takes us into Thursday morning. About midday on Thursday, it's going to be completely out of here. So a very small window of opportunity we're talking about. So here's how it plays out. 5 o'clock on Tuesday, we have the front back to the west of us. It starts to push closer to us. This is going to take us all the way up to 8 o'clock on Wednesday morning. The heavy rain, the front, still back over the western part of Tennessee. Notice the mountain areas. You could start to see some showers even as early as 8 a.m. on Monday, but most of the day you'll notice most of us actually stay dry for your day tomorrow. This takes us up to 6 p.m. Some of us may still have not seen any showers, but the heaviest rain will be for us in the highest elevation still. Eastern part of Tennessee, seeing the front move through. I continue to put that into motion. It really starts to come down heavily by about 11 o'clock in a lot of places tomorrow evening. Then for the rest of the night, it can be very heavy at times. In fact, all of our rain may just be falling when it's dark for this system. Moving out during the morning hours on Thursday. This is midday on Thursday, and it's just about completely out of here. But this is what it's going to leave behind. Some gusty winds and some very heavy rain, maybe even some localized flooding in some spots, especially the highest elevations. You should see the most of it, maybe about an inch for the rest of us. Either way, here's what it looks like. We have a 68-degree high on Wednesday. Rain comes in late, lasts into Thursday morning. Still warm on Thursday. By the weekend, though, looking fantastic. Lots of sunshine, but chilly and in the 50s. There's your forecast. We'll have more coming up.
Okay, Lee, we look forward to seeing you again. We are on your side right now with some important help if you or someone you know is in jeopardy of losing a home to foreclosure. We are hosting a foreclosure help hotline right now. WBTV's Kristen Miranda is live, and she's going to explain to all of us how we can get help. Hey, Kristen.
Hey, Molly, you know what? I hope everyone calls and kind of keeps these folks busy because they have been here working hard, answering phones, answering questions about what kind of help there is out there for people who are concerned that they might be facing foreclosure. Penny Shepard is a foreclosure prevention advisor with the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Housing Partnership. You're taking a lot of calls. What kinds of questions are you getting?
Well, we're getting calls from people who have lost their job or maybe experienced a medical hardship temporarily. They might be recovered from their hardship. They've fallen behind for various reasons. Some of them fit into the program. Some of them can work with their mortgage company directly. We can assist them with that. But mostly people who are falling behind.
Yeah, we should be specific. I mean, this program in particular, it's specific what kinds of trouble these folks have run into that doesn't allow them to pay their mortgages.
Correct. The Hardest Hit Funds was created by the federal government. The money was given to the states that are hardest hit by the economy. So this program in particular are for homeowners who have experienced a loss of income due to no fault of their own. Typically, that's job loss, a medical situation that kept them out of work for a time and they're now recovered, things like that.
Well, again, but as Penny said, you know, there is some other help out there. Sometimes it just takes making that phone call, talking to these folks and seeing what kind of direction you can be pointed in. Molly, we're going to be here until 6:30 tonight, so you have plenty of time to make that phone call and get the assistance that you need, or maybe for someone you know. Back to you.
Yeah.
Okay, we want to repeat that number, 1-866-616, what was it, 4266? It was on the bottom of the screen. We do have it all over social media. It's on our website. Yes. You can make sure to call into that number, and we've been live throughout it, again, Kristen said, until 6:30. You
can always roll back the TiVo, too. Get the phone number off of there, but keep calling because they're busy. Coming up, we have an update on the condition of one of our co-workers and friends, Kristen Hampton. She has a message she wants you to hear. That's coming up next.
Yeah, you don't want to go anywhere. Then coming up, all new at 6 o'clock, we're going to continue to follow this breaking news in Gastonia. One person has been shot and killed on North York Street. A reporter is on the way. More information for you on that at the top of 6 o'clock.
Well, we have great news to share with you about a co-worker and our friend Kristen Hampton. A few weeks ago, she went to get a mammogram to calm fears many women have about the potentially life-saving procedure. She did it on TV. The doctors, though, found something called a radial scar. Well, today she had that removed, and she had this message for you.
And I would just like to say thank you so much for all of the prayers and all of the support, because that really means a lot to me, and I really think it worked and it helped. So bat is gone. Thank you guys.
The bat is gone. Bat be gone to bat is gone.
Because the shape on the image looked like a bat. Still smiling.
She's been texting a lot of us in and out of consciousness. It's been a pretty entertaining afternoon.
I imagine it always is with Kristen. Coming up next at 6 o'clock, we investigate the process for screening refugees coming into the United States.
Plus, we continue to follow that breaking news. A deadly shooting in Gastonia. WBTV News at 6 is next.